Hi, everybody. I'm Leslyn Keith, Lipedema Project. I'm the Director of Research. I'm also the President of the Board of Directors, and I'm here with my friends and colleagues, Gail Straker, our Community Manager. Hi, Gail.
Hi, Leslyn. Hi, everyone. Hi, Siobhan.
And Siobhan Huggins, who's our Research Specialist. Hi, Siobhan.
Hello.
Long time no see for both of you. We just got off another meeting. We spend lots of time together, but we are so thrilled to also be here every Friday with all of you. And we love to know that you're out there and you're sharing this time with us. So if you could post something in the chat where you are in the world, and if you have any comments or questions, we just love to have your participation. So and as Gail says, we want to get some love. So if you post something in there, give us some hearts or something like that. We'd love to hear from you. So be sure to let us know what you're doing and where you are in the world. So we do have lots to talk about with what's new and coming up with Lipedema, some exciting things coming up. We're wrapping up another wonderful year. We still have, 2 more of these, I think, Fridays before we end the year. And so we're kind of doing a wrap up for the year with all the wonderful things that we've been doing and what we've got planned for 2023. But speaking about that, Gail, can you talk about a free webinar that we got coming up?
Yeah, so we have a free webinar coming up on December 29th. And it is going to be the top tips, the 10 top tips, or as many top tips that are going to show up. And we're going to talk about everything we've learned that we can in the webinar form. This is open to everyone in the Lipedema community, in the big, broader community. And so please make sure, I'm going to throw that in the chat. I'm going to throw the registration link into the chat or the comments right now. So please make sure that you get that registered. Even if you can't make it at that time of the day, register. Every time you register for something, you are more likely to be able to get the free replays. And so if you're registered for this webinar, even if you can't be there, the replays will be available to you to come back to and watch. And it'll be just like you're there live, right? I mean, just like now, you might not be watching this right now. You might be watching it as a replay. See, it works.
Okay, but Gail, you did not give the entire title for that webinar.
That's because I didn't have it memorized and I didn't write it down. Do one of you guys?
Do you want to give the entire title? Go ahead and give it to us.
Sure. The title is Top Tips for Lipedema and Lymphedema from the Past 10 Years and How to Have Your Best Life Ever in 2023. So that's an important notice. This isn't just what we've learned over the past year, but over the past 10 years. What are the kind of main takeaways that we can get from everything we've learned, which is a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I got the 10 from. I said the top 10 tips. It's the top tips from the past 10
You're
years.
right. I didn't even catch that.
Whoa, oh my gosh. That's a lot of tips.
That's a lot of tips from 10 years worth of tips. Yeah.
The webinar is going to end up being 10 years long to cover everything.
And we're not going to remake the wheel. I mean, that we started making the wheel 10 years ago. We're not going to do it. We're not going to remake those 10 years worth of wheel. So, oh well. And Siobhan, apparently your knitting work is great. That came from.
Thank you.
Netta.
I finished this week, I think. I finished the bulk of it like several months ago, and then it sat in my closet because I didn't feel like doing the ends.
Lovely. Lovely.
But it's just in time for the cold weather and something nice to throw on. Looks cozy.
I'll almost certainly bring it with me to Denver.
Yeah.
Speaking of Denver, what's Denver?
Oh, the Carb Denver.
We have happening in February. Siobhan, tell everybody about it.
Yeah, so you, Leslyn, me, and Catherine will be doing a presentation for Low Carb Denver, and we'll be talking all about lipedema. There's been a lot of interest in lipedema in the low carb community, and we're happy to accommodate where we can. The cool thing is that a lot of doctors tend to attend Low Carb Denver, so hopefully we'll be able to get some of that influence, get more physicians aware of lipedema so that more people can be capable of recognizing for one, and then also diagnosing and going along on that journey with people, because doctors want to help in most cases. So if they can get more information, then they're pretty happy about that.
And Gail and Guy are going to be there as well. So we're excited.
Yay!
And not only that is I bought my flights yesterday.
Oh, you
So
did?
Yay!
All
I'm
right.
coming in on the 23rd,
Yes.
and then I'm leaving 23rd of February, and I'm leaving on the 1st of March. And what's exciting is I actually get to go spend some time at Siobhan's house, Siobhan and Amber's house.
So you are actually going to be there for quite a few days after the conference. It
I
sounds like.
am. I
Yeah.
am. I talked Guy into it, so he's bringing his laptop. So he has to work. He goes, I'm not going to be doing anything. So I said, okay, go ahead, fine, work. So he's like working. So he'll be working Monday and Tuesday from Siobhan's house.
Cool. I'll be working Monday and Tuesday from my house as well.
What will I be doing?
I don't know. Hiking, maybe.
Probably working.
We do have a yarn store here, so you can go explore the yarn stores.
Okay, sounds good. Are you going to? Are you going to do that too, Leslyn?
I am going to be there just for the weekend, and Bill has decided for health issues he's not going to be going. He originally was planning on being there. We really like Jeffrey Gerber. He's one of the first low carb docs that we met in person, and we just started this journey. And so he was just thinking this is not going to be good so he is not going to be traveling to Denver in winter. So
yeah. Sometimes our health keeps us from traveling, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Which, speaking of which, talking about traveling and having to do with lipedema, we just had a wonderful fireside chat just on that topic, which I think we had about 80 people were there, all in a meeting style, so that everybody could contribute. You can put your camera on, you can talk, have your voice on. So it's not like a webinar or something like this with a Facebook Live, but everybody was there in the meeting together. And I just thought there was just an amazing exchange of ideas, wonderful tips for traveling with lipedema.
Yeah, there was not a PowerPoint presentation to be seen. It was everyone in the community coming together and sharing their tips, sharing their concerns. It was very cool. I learned a lot. I actually ended up texting my lymphatic therapist right after, hey, by the way, I was just at this thing and we need to integrate this into our sessions.
Yeah, it was pretty spectacular because, sometimes we think we're doing everything we know how to do. And then somebody mentions, oh, what about this? What about a massage pad for under your feet that you plug into your car to keep, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And they were just, the things that everybody does as they learn about their own bodies and how they help themselves stay healthy as they can. And then we all were able to glean everything we could, that we needed from that conversation. It was spectacular.
Mm-hmm. We're often at Lipedema Simplified and Lipedema Project doing ebooks with just little tips and tricks, or like I recently did one on MLD for lipedema. We have, different books that have to do with these little concepts. I think I see another ebook coming, travel tips for lipedema. There is, just from putting together just the ideas we got from this single fireside chat, there's a ton of stuff to put in a publication like that.
Yeah. And with those, as soon as I get access to them, I send them off to my doctor.
Yes, yes.
Here you go, some more
Yes.
information for you.
Well, and then your doctor, I mean, they're a point of contact for even more people with lipedema potentially. So, getting these things out to your healthcare provider so that then they can get them out to other people. So it's just you, one person, taking this information to your doctor. You have no idea how many people this can potentially impact.
Absolutely. I like to imagine like thousands of people doing that exact same thing, reaching thousands of doctors who have who knows how many patients. A lot of doctors have a ton of patients. And it's just increasing that awareness, increasing that exposure to this information, and then increasing their own education. Because again, if they have the information, they're usually happy to talk to their patients about that. Say, hey, I actually know a little bit about this. Do you want a copy of this ebook as well? And just continuing that spread even more.
Yeah, I think of it like the Prel commercial. Siobhan, you're too young, but anyway, I'm sure that Leslyn remembers the Prel commercial. Tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and pretty soon the whole entire front of the TV was covered in heads because everybody was telling two friends. Maybe, Siobhan, that happened, I think, like in the
70s.
Whatever. I'm an old person inside, so
well, yeah, but the 70s. Marguerite Andrews says that it was a very informative fireside chat. She would like to hear about traveling to get lipedema, lymphedema treatment in the future, especially for some of us that have to drive an hour or more to see someone who can just treat these conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are so right, Marguerite. There still is a dearth of providers around the world that understand these conditions and can diagnose these conditions and then can offer treatment. And so many people are having to travel quite large distances to get the help that they need. And now that really combines those two topics, the lack of awareness and providers with travel. So excellent point.
Yeah, Krista said, yes, I was the one in 2019 who, after doing my own research, told my primary care provider that I felt I might have lipedema. She'd heard of lymphedema and actually Googled it. Yeah,
Yes.
it's something I hear about all the time is people seeing in themselves saying, oh, I think that's me. Even seeing pictures of people with lipedema and saying, wait a minute, that's me in that picture. And then going and talking to their doctor, that was me as well. My doctor didn't know a lot about lipedema when it was first suspected that I had it, and we've had many, many conversations since. And he's much more informed now, which means he now has a much better possibility of helping other people who may have it.
Yeah, and I think we've seen this happen in the low carb community that, Siobhan, Gail, you're at a low carb conference, you're talking to a low carb doctor, and then they all of a sudden realize that they have lots of patients that have lipedema. And now someone new that diagnoses people, so it's another resource for women. So these are primary care doctors. They primarily use carbohydrate restriction and low carb in their practice, but they're just primary care doctors. And so they're affecting a lot of patients out there. And to now have, your primary care doctor all of a sudden can diagnose you with lipedema, that's a huge resource.
Yeah, it's funny, actually. I had gotten a message from a low carb doctor who said, I watched your presentation at this conference and I went back and I diagnosed 2 of my patients right away and called them in. And let's see. Met said, how would lipedema show up in men? It's more typical for women, right? Yes, so it's almost exclusively women. And by that, we mean like there's a couple case studies of men with lipedema, but it seems to almost exclusively be women who are affected. And there's some ideas behind why that might be. Leslyn, do you know how it presents in men? Is it pretty much the same symptoms? From what I've heard, it's the lower body, disproportionality, the painfulness and tenderness, all of that type of stuff. And typically and men who have lipedema, from the case studies that we have, they also tend to have some reason for hormonal imbalance. So
Right.
high estrogen, low testosterone as well.
Well, exactly. And so I was actually talking to Dr. Rob Sivas, and he says that it may be the reason why we're thinking it is almost exclusively women and only in men who have a hormonal imbalance is because lipedema may present completely differently in men. And so at this point, we haven't identified what those characteristics are in the typical male. But right now, in the atypical male, they have a severe hormonal imbalance, and then they can get those female lipedema symptoms. So what we don't know is this happening just in another way in men, and it's as yet unidentified.
Yeah, exactly.
It always makes me think about, we were told that there is a genetic component, and that it could be traveled down through our father's side rather than our mother's side. And so when I think about it, I'm thinking, okay, so I know that I'm built more like my father's aunt.
Yes.
Rather than my mother's side of the family. And I think, so how did it get here?
Yes. Yes.
And so I wonder if it's genetic, if it runs prevalent on one side, or if maybe we just aren't seeing it, but we have a genetic disposition in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it didn't show up in my mom because it didn't show up in my mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it makes me wonder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All interesting stuff. And before we finish up for today, I know that there's one other big announcement that we have, Gail, about our Lipedema tribe. Can you tell people about that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I'm seeing some names over here that I don't recognize, which means you're not a tribe member, which makes you go, well, what's the tribe? The tribe is it's a community. It's our paid membership community through Lipedema Simplified, and we usually open it up during Lipedema Awareness Month. But I've been getting questions from people as the community manager about, when is Tribe going to open up again? How can I become a member of Tribe? The paid community is a very supportive group that helps us develop our programs. Actually, they say, hey, we're interested in this, and we figure out if we can do a fireside chat, just like we just had the fireside chat on traveling. And so this community being extremely supportive with each other, we have programs throughout the year, and people are interested, how can I become a member? We're going to open it up.
Because usually it's only open in June, Lipedema Awareness Month, but it's going to be opened up earlier, right?
Yes. We're planning on opening it up like a New Year's celebration, to open it up for tribes. So we are having that top tip of past the last 10 years event that we talked about earlier. And with that, we just might open up the tribe after that. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be maybe a New Year's celebration thing. So
if anyone was undecided on their New Year's resolution, maybe that could be part of it. I'm going to join this community, really focus on you, get that type of support, access to a lot of resources, a lot of good discussion, all of that.
Yeah. So
the resources and the education that you get in this group. I mean, there's something happening every day, right, Gail? You can go to exercise class. You can go to a fireside chat. You can go to a pain clinic. And of course, this is all held online, and everything is recorded. So if you can't make it that particular time, you still got that resource available to you. It's such a huge variety of activities and fellowship and learning and support. You just can't find anywhere else for lipedema.
Right. And it's year round. We were just going, I usually will finish something up by saying, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, I'll see you later tonight. And then I say, and I'll see you tomorrow for this. And I'll see you on Thursday for this. And I just start going through and I realize, okay, I'll just see you every day. And the thing is, you don't necessarily have to go to everything, but everything is available. And it's wonderful to have it. And there's courses available. You'll hear more about it over the next week. I guess next week, not this coming week, but the week after. The week after Christmas.
Yes.
I'm a little bit off balance. So, anyway,
Yes.
So keep your eyes and ears open about the tribe.
Yeah, you will see that email and posting wherever you see all of our other events. You will see that when the tribe opens up, you will know, and we would be happy to have you join us. I think that is all the latest of what's new and coming up with lipedema. Anything else that you guys want to share?
I think that's it. Yeah.
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 It's just our brains are full. There's just so much happening and so much we're working on, and our plans for the next year and the future. Just got a lot of stuff going, and we'll be talking to you about that every Friday. Get together with us here. It's lovely being here with you again. Thank you for those of you that posted comments and questions and just hellos. Love to see those posts. See you everybody next Friday.